Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
I want to thank all of you for joining us today. It's going to be an absolutely jam-packed transmission. We're going to be live here for at least the next 3 hours. It is the 15th day of August 2011 on this Monday edition. And boy, am I glad to be here. I took off yesterday, had an excellent rebroadcast, some of it segments of our new InfoWars special reports that we're doing multiple times a week at prisonplanet.tv. So in a way, it wasn't a rebroadcast because much of yesterday's show had never been broadcast at all. But I almost called my producers and crew and came in yesterday, but I controlled myself and didn't. We have a very full plate of key information ahead of us, but the world is awakening. Now, just because you're awake doesn't mean that you know exactly where you're at, but it gives us that are awake a lot more than the general public a chance to show them and illustrate to them historically what's happening in its current context. So we have masses of news we're going to obviously be breaking down here coming up in the next segment. And we have no guest today. I told Jaron and others I don't want any guest. I want to be able to cover the news and take your phone calls on a host of issues. Number one, the system is running scared of Ron Paul and admits that they are censoring him. In fact, I saw it this morning and forgot to send it to Jaron, and I forget the exact headline, but we're going to dig it up. Once I can't find something, I start obsessing on it. I only had about 5 minutes to try to find it before showtime. It was a Politico headline. And Jaron says he did find it. I don't know how you did that so quickly, Jaron. Oh, here it is. Tim Pawlenty, Michelle Bachmann clash at Republican debate. You found one of them, but that's not it. It was a Politico headline that basically said Bachmann, Pawlenty, come out as top contenders at debate. And then it just doesn't even mention Ron Paul that only lost by a couple hundred points, a couple hundred votes. And now it's admitted that Michelle Bachmann bought 4,000 votes. That's admitted. And so Ron Paul lost by, well, some estimates are 216, others 152. But the point is there's also hundreds and hundreds of votes that came up missing. And then you add to that Bachmann bought thousands of the tickets, actually paid people, something Ron Paul did not do. Ron Paul told his supporters to come there and buy tickets if they believed in him, and that's all part of the straw polls to show who has the interest. But clearly, with all of her money and establishment backing the former IRS attack dog enforcer who supports secret arrest of citizens and secret execution of Americans, hey, if you like her, well, why not like Joseph Stalin? I know she's a lot cuter than Ron Paul, and I know Rick Perry's got better hair than Ron Paul. But, well, the point is when I come back from break, I'm going to start my engines and go over all of this today. Also, in financial news, why is George Soros selling gold and buying farmland? That's up on Infowars.com from Mike Adams at Natural News. We have a lot of other bizarre information, like Krugman calls on government to manufacture war to save economy. And it was a very bizarre, for those that aren't informed, statement by Krugman. We're going to play that clip coming up. Amidst alien invasion rant, many missed the point that New York Times economist was advocating a staged crisis. So we're going to be going over that as well. Rick Perry has changed his mind on HPV executive order that killed so many people in Maine, so many others. Well, he's a day late and a dollar short on that one, isn't he? I put a video out this weekend on it titled, Rick Perry Hurt Little Girls. I should have said killed, but he definitely hurt them. There's no doubting that. When he knew it was killing people. We'll be right back. Hi, folks. This is Alex Jones. I'm looking for people that have the wisdom to spot savings, opportunity, and recognize risk. Saving means to make money. The Cal-Ben Pure Soap Company can save you thousands of dollars and give you good old-fashioned real soaps that are triple concentrated and twice as good as what you're using now. Soaps made from vegetable and coconut oils that contain no useless dyes, perfumes, deodorants, or antibacterials. Your risk is the hundreds of hazardous toxic detergents that give you rashes, itching sores, and deteriorating clothing called lint. If you want something better, if you want something you've never had before, you have to do something you've never done before. Getting a free catalog is easy by calling 800-340-7091 or see Cal-Ben on the web at 5starsoap.com. Take charge of your health now by calling 800-340-7091 or see Cal-Ben on the web at 5starsoap.com. A very wealthy U.S. citizen is predicting that in 2011, we will witness the most important day in America in more than 50 years. He says it will change everything about our lives. The way you shop, travel, invest, educate your children, and even how you take care of your health and your own family. Now, this man has made some outrageous predictions over the years. The crazy part is, he's usually right. You see, he predicted the collapse of GM, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and America's biggest mall owner, General Growth Properties. In fact, Barron's called his work a dire prophecy. Recently, he created a video, which you can watch online for free, detailing his biggest and most important prediction yet. And it's a real eye-opener. I can't stress this enough. You should at least watch this free video online today. He explains everything you need to know, including simple steps you can take to protect yourself. You can find the video at www.endofamerica3.com. That's endofamerica, the number 3.com. Watch the free video at www.endofamerica3.com. That's endofamerica3.com. Congratulations to our friends at efoodsdirect.com. In August, they celebrate 30 years in the long-term storable food business. To celebrate, efoodsdirect.com is offering the lowest price ever on their one-year Freedom Food Supply, even less than the price in 1981. For a limited time, you get 30% off a one-year Freedom Supply, which provides 3 hearty meals per day for one adult. The Freedom Supply includes a large variety of fruits and vegetables, dairy, legumes, grains, sprouting seeds, and more. Plus, you get a generous supply of their quick fix meals. This is the most complete, extensive, and affordable unit they have ever offered. Call 800-409-5633 or go to efoodsdirect.com/Alex and get 30% off a one-year food supply. If you have ever considered getting a supply, now is the time. Call 800-409-5633. That's 800-409-5633 or efoodsdirect.com/Alex.
From his Central Texas Command Center, deep behind enemy lines, the information war continues. It's Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
It is Monday, the 15th day of August, 2011. We're going to be live here for the next 3 hours. We're going to cover the entire waterfront of key news and information, your phone calls, Rick Perry throwing his hat in the 2012 presidential ring, the mainstream media admitting that they are ignoring Ron Paul and running scared from him. We'll get into all the latest military news, U.S. and NATO arming Syrian opposition. We knew that months ago, but now it's confirmed. Planning military strike. Big victories by Muammar Gaddafi now 4 months into fighting U.S. and NATO-backed al-Qaeda forces. Of course, you know, Friday, the federal government, working with the state and city government out in San Francisco, shut down cell phones in much of the city to, quote, block a peaceful protest. Even the Associated Press is calling this Orwellian. Today, Kurt Nimmo had the first big report out on it Friday, and then again Sunday. Anonymous announces BART cyber attack after cell phone shutdown. That is all coming up as well. But I also want to talk today about positive things that are happening. And I'm going to do that at the start of the second hour. And in fact, I'm going to write a note here, positive things, because as bad as a lot of things are in this world, it always takes things getting bad before people decide to rediscover liberty. And before the average man or woman decides to get up off their rumpus and to believe in themselves and to believe that they can affect change. It takes tyranny to get people to start valuing liberty. See, we go in cycles, and the Founding Fathers talked a lot about this. Many historians have talked about it, that you become decadent because your society is wealthy, then corruption comes in, then hardcore corruption sets in, then tyranny gets into place, and then people struggle against it and regain their liberty and value it, and then incredible prosperity begins again, and then slowly corruption creeps back in, the prosperity goes away, the freedom goes away, tyranny comes in, the people stand up again, and then once they have liberty and once people are moral, then the blessings of freedom come back, the prosperity comes back, and then the children and grandchildren become decadent again, and the cycle continues itself over and over and over again. So I'm going to be talking about some of the positive things that are going on in this world when we start the second hour today. By the way, in the last month, I've had radio station managers and owners call us. And this has been happening for years. And they say, yeah, we just got the Arbitron ratings, or we just got the instant people meter systems that are even better. We do even better on those because it's not just off establishment, long-term name recognition and laziness, people just filling out the diaries. There's a system in the car that you agree to put in that actually tracks what you're listening to. Genesis is a great network. Ted Anderson is a wonderful person. He never censors me, never tells me what to do. And we've been successful because we're not establishment radio by the book. But over the years, little bitty stations outside big markets, because the big monopolies, there's only really two big companies own most of the big stations in cities. So even if you get good ratings and huge listenerships, you usually can't get on those big marquee stations because the syndicators also own these stations. One of the big names, obviously, is Clear Channel. And so over the years, we'll go on stations, say 500-watt, 1,000-watt stations outside cities like Knoxville is one example. And a station will go from almost no ratings to a year later doubling, a year after that quadrupling in the time slot I'm in. Big audience for little bitty stations. WBCR is an example. But then over the years, I've been able to get on big stations in big cities. But it's always the same. The station owner or manager calls up and says, yeah, I got this from the local station, or I got this from another network, but just thought I wanted to let you know how high your ratings are. But the way Arbitron and instant people meters work, if you're not subscribing to it, until it gets published in a newspaper, you're not supposed to talk about it. And so it is a big, dirty secret in talk radio that everywhere I'm put in a market, even on a smaller station, I will defeat everyone. And I just got in the last month, 2 different stations that came in. One of them is in a top 20 market. Up against Rush Limbaugh, one station went from, number 6 to number 1. Number 1. I was on the station 2 months, and in 2 months, the station went from way down the rankings to number 1 against Rush Limbaugh. And I'm just going to have Ted get with the ad agencies and get the numbers ourselves, because Ted's a great guy, but I'm even doing this on air so that it becomes a larger issue, so that we actually act like a radio network and get the ratings, and the fact that that's the holy grail of talk radio. It's the holy